Hey, your body, peace, and harmony here with you here today. Attachment, bonding, and avoidance. Avoidance motivation. These are two conflicting states that we see in the mind of the narcissist and the psychopath. What is attachment, bonding, and what is avoidance motivation? These are just a couple of basically psychological terms that I'll kind of break down for you, and I think it'll shed some light. I think it'll help explain kind of the love bombing, discarding phase and cycle that you see with the narcissist and the psychopath. Now, what is attachment bonding? Attachment is when we feel a sense of bonding towards someone who has provided us some nurturing, love, connection. They've been there like early in our life. We experience what's called attachment bonding. We feel a sense of bond and connection to a mother that's separate from anyone else because, you know, they fed us, they bathed us, they housed us. We feel a certain bond. That is our mother, and they're different. We have a different experience with them than any other person. That's an attachment bond. You might want to call it love, but it's not necessarily love. It is a bond. It's a connection that you share, a feeling that you share with somebody. It's a bond, a connection. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to mean love, but when it comes to an attachment, it means we feel attached to them. We want to go back to them. We want to be with them. We feel, sad when we're away. We feel glad when they return. That is an attachment bond. Just like, in a family, if you have, I'm just going to liken it to that of a pet. That pet has a very much of an attachment bond to their master. When the dog, is like, let's say when you go on vacation and your pet is staying at home, or your pet is, staying with another neighbor or at a kennel, and you get back and the pet is just like jumping for joy. They're peeing on the floor. They're running in circles. They're ripping around the house. They are so excited to see you. That's an attachment bond. That pet is attached to you. They are loyal to you. They are like, yay, my mommy and daddy are home. My playmates are home. My food is home. My treats are home. My walks are home. Yay! Other people might still provide the same, care for them. They might still be able to let them out or let them back in. But it's very different from who their quote unquote master is. And so we tend to feel this with regards to our family. We have an attachment bond. You're supposed to have a family, correct? This is your family. You feel a sense of attachment, love, and protection, security with them. That is an attachment bond. Okay, and what is an avoidance motivation? Okay, we're looking at two different concepts here. Okay, so we got it. So we got attachment. Okay, what attachment means, and we're going to look at how this relates to the narcissist and maybe why it's difficult to leave them, or maybe some of the internal conflict that you feel with leaving them because that attachment bond is present. Okay, now let's look at avoidance motivation. Here's another psychology term. And I apologize if this is kind of scientific for you. I have studied psychology. I have spoken with numerous people who have been through all sorts of psychological abuse with a narcissist and with psychopath at various levels. So I think it's important to understand these concepts, even for a layperson, so you can, just get a grip on what's happening. And so maybe it's easier for you to move on, hopefully. But what is avoidance motivation? Avoidance motivation is when we want to absolutely positively flee something we perceive as a threat or a fear. We are absolutely, number one, wanting to avoid, someone who has gone and who's pointed at our head. We want to avoid, the drug dealer across the street. We're like, I'm walking the other direction, you have a sense of fear. You have a sense of, alarm. You feel very uncomfortable. That's an avoidance motivation. Likewise, avoidance motivation, you don't want to be hit. You don't want to be abused. You don't want to be scolded. You don't want to be shamed. That is an avoidance motivation. We want to absolutely positively avoid feeling that way. We want to avoid that person. We want to avoid the circumstance. We do not want to be associated with it. We are motivated to get away, avoid, flee, run. It's almost like that whole life or death situation where we're feeling like real, just real genuine fear. And now, what is very interesting with the narcissist and the psychopath is we tend to feel both of these at high intensities. So we feel a tremendous attachment bond with them, and we also feel, the second one, that avoidance motivation because of how they hurt us, because of the conflicts, because of the lies. Whatever it is in your unique situation, we have that avoidance motivation going on. And our experience that we're experiencing with them is very akin, it's very similar to really the splitting, and I've had previous videos on this, or what we're calling cognitive dissonance, the experience of splitting in the mindset and just kind of the personality disorder of the narcissist and psychopath. So chances are, and follow me here, in the childhood of the narcissist or the psychopath, they experienced this with their original caregiver. So somewhere along the line in their family lineage, they had this attachment bond and this avoidance motivation associated with that one original person in their life. And it caused them to split and basically shut off certain areas of their brain, certain memories, certain ways of perceiving things when they're with that person. And then not only when they're with that person, but as they go on to then experience other things in their life, other situations, other people, it affects their complete outcome. Those formative years, that formative experience, perhaps that original family unit, went on to then impact how they perceived and react and deal as a complete person with every other situation moving forward. So the narcissist and the psychopath, a very key hallmark of their behavior, of their personality, is that of cognitive splitting, what we call all or nothing thinking. So it's either all one way, it's all, it's black and white thinking, it's all or nothing, it's hot or cold, it's good or bad. They perceive these things in terms of their extremes. And what's happening, and here's another psychological term for you, is called cognitive inhibition, or what we're calling cross inhibition, that occurs in the mind of the narcissist or psychopath. So while they are experiencing something positive, they're cross inhibiting, which means they're stopping their assessment of something negative. It's completely shut off. So they don't have any sort of balance or meshing or integration between kind of the overall qualities of an experience. And this tends to create that attachment bonding and, like we said, that positive with that avoidance motivation. So they tend to flip between these two extremes in their relationships. Very confusing and chaotic for the person who is, quote unquote, falling for the narcissist or psychopath or being targeted by them, because they're able to vacillate and move between a number of different people as if, their whole relationship with the other person is not even existing. You've heard, crazy things where people are married to two people and they don't even know the other person is married. They're living with somebody and, meanwhile they've got an affair going on almost 24/7 simultaneously. Like, most people wouldn't be able to comprehend these things in their mind. They wouldn't be capable of it. Yet the narcissist and psychopath, they're cross-inhibiting these areas of their thought process. So it gives them that whole love bombing and discarding sort of situation. And, they know what they are and who they are. They know that they're different. They know that they're destructive, and they know that they're going to hurt you. But basically, they can't stop themselves. And the really malicious, vicious ones, they play you. Like, they're like, oh my God, like they see you falling for it, and, you're holding the door open for you, and you're like loving it even more, and then they order your drink, and you're like, woohoo, etc., 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 and then the love bombing continues. So, it is this issue that creates kind of that confusion in the victim. And you know, you're also then kind of experiencing that whole dichotomy and that confusion, and it becomes difficult for you to figure out kind of like, which side do you want? Should I stay or should I go? And until you really begin to understand that this is the game that they're going to play forever and ever, amen, you know, hopefully that'll help it become easier for you to identify that, you know, you don't want your life to be an eternal roller coaster. You want to have a building and, you know, loving, romantic, hot and heavy relationship with someone who can actually handle it and handle you and all the great love you have to give, which I know you do. So hopefully this video and this explanation has helped you a little bit. Please share, subscribe for more great tools, informational videos, discussion, and support here. Peace out. Make it a beautiful day.